Every team feels like we got a shot at this. Welcome to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Undescribable and unpredictable.
These fans deserve this. They are going to absorb it all.
Can you describe the playoffs in one word?
Gosh, one word? I can't really put that into one word.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Can't do that in one word.
Playoff catch, baby. Playoff catch. Woo, it's wild, baby.
Playoffs? That gives you chills.
The playoffs mean everything.
Exciting.
Crazy.
Electric.
All right, let's go.
Intense.
Let's go.
Physical. Fierce.
Wow.
The grind.
Keep pushing.
Desperation. Sacrifice. Fearless.
It's war.
Passion. Best time of your life.
This is as good as it gets.
How close have you come to the cup?
I haven't been in the playoffs yet.
Literally about as close as you.
We haven't made playoffs yet, but I want to win the Stanley Cup so bad, so it's coming.
Not close at all. First round exit every 3 years in a row.
Just to the second round, game 7.
Unfortunately, we lost in game 7 to go to the conference finals. That was a tough one there.
I lost in the conference finals.
We came 3 times really close, but none of them worked out well.
I lost in the Stanley Cup finals.
Close. Really close.
3 wins close.
Really close, and still after 2 or 3 years in my head.
I've been 1 game away from winning the Stanley Cup.
Not close enough.
Pretty close, but close isn't good enough.
As close as it gets.
Gone all the way.
All the way.
I've gotten pretty close to the cup.
I'm Stanley Cup champion. I hold the cup, drink with the cup, everything with the cup. I've kissed the cup. It was the coolest thing in the world.
You've won one now. Is one enough?
One's never enough.
No, it's not enough.
No, you always want to win more.
No, it's never enough.
Once you've won once, you want that feeling every year.
I think it would be even more special, go through all of these down times to get back there and win it again.
I need to get as many as I can before I'm out of here. I won't fall.
Twice is good. Now everybody in the same lane again. You never know what's gonna happen. Now everybody get a chance.
Sportsnet.
New frontiers of music, culinary exploration, and one of the most iconic monuments in the U.S. are just some of the things that create the unique and charming flavor that is St. Louis. You'll find Missouri's largest metropolis perched on the west bank of the Mississippi as it rolls south toward New Orleans. While blues, bricks, baseball, and beer are etched into this city's culture, St. Louis has been shaped by a rich history. The city got its start when two French fur traders started an isolated but strategic settlement on a high bluff of the Mississippi in 1763. Growing steadily into a village and then a town, it was named St. Louis in honor of the King of France, St. Louis IX. The city played a vital role in America's westward expansion in the 19th century. Explorers Lewis and Clark embarked on their historic expedition from here, blazing the way for other hopeful settlers. The city thrived as an outfitting center where pioneers gathered supplies before setting out into the Wild West, and it soon adopted the nickname the Gateway to the West. Curving to a height of 630 feet above the Mississippi, the Gateway Arch was created in 1963 as a tribute to St. Louis's role in opening up the West. Delve through the city's past in the Gateway Arch Museum before taking the tram to the top of the USA's tallest monument for spectacular views across the city and beyond. Once you've returned to Earth, make your way to the Washington Avenue Historic District. Largely abandoned after the Second World War, this former garment district is once again in vogue as funky apartments, bars, and cafes take up residence in the warehouses of old. In 1894, a devastating fire almost reduced St. Louis to ash. Following the discovery of large clay deposits beneath the city, buildings were rebuilt with red terracotta bricks. Sturdy, fire-resistant, and undeniably beautiful, red bricks soon became a signature building block in the city's DNA. While red bricks make up the city's DNA, music is the fire within St. Louis's soul. The city's sound is a unique brew, over a century in the making. Plantation songs and gospel steam north aboard riverboats from New Orleans, blending with local ragtime and jazz to create the iconic St. Louis blues. At the National Blues Museum, discover the legends who honed their craft in St. Louis, creating a new sound that would go on to influence musicians all over the world. St. Louis's soul flows with faith as well as music. Step into the Cathedral Basilica of St. Louis and feel your spirit soar amid the bright chapels and sanctuary. Gaze up at the glowing mosaics, a labor of love that took 76 years and over 41 million glass tesserae pieces to complete. The historic district of Soulard is the next stop on your journey into the spirit of St. Louis. This neighborhood is brimming with churches that date back to the mid-1800s. In Soulard, food and beer are treated with divine reverence. Follow your nose to the neighborhood's best taco joint and savor a pint of liquid gold at one of the many breweries. Take a tour of the Anheuser-Busch Brewery, the home of Budweiser beer. The brewery's site was chosen in 1852 because of some cool caves that they used for storage, for its proximity to the Mississippi River, and for the large population of thirsty German immigrants. Inhale the hops, malt, and mash as you wander through the labyrinth of historic buildings and learn the fascinating story of one of the nation's leading brewers. Pull up a chair at the Schlafly Tap Room, another of the city's oldest and most celebrated breweries. Originally a printing press, today it's the perfect place to join in with the locals in cheering on the St. Louis Blues, the city's pro ice hockey team. While St. Louis's German settlers brought beer to the city, its Italian immigrants brought their homeland recipes. Make your way to The Hill and try one of the city's most iconic dishes, toasted ravioli. Legend has it that a tipsy chef dropped ravioli into the deep fryer by mistake, and voila, a new dish was born. After sampling the city's culinary folklore, enjoy the spirits of St. Louis in one of the city's many cocktail bars and lounges. You'll need at least 2 days to fully explore Forest Park, a lush expanse larger than New York's Central Park. More than just a celebration of nature's beauty, Forest Park is also home to a smorgasbord of St. Louis's most treasured cultural jewels. At the park's northern entrance, visit the Missouri History Museum and take off through the dramatic chapters of the state's past. The museum's shining star is the Spirit of St. Louis, a replica of the airplane flown by Charles Lindbergh in the first solo transatlantic flight. Follow the path south to Pagoda Lake, where you'll find one of St. Louis's best-loved attractions. Starting life as a humble stage between two oak trees, the Muni Theater has grown into the largest amphitheater in the United States. So book a ticket, sit back, and experience the magic of musical theater under the moonlight. Forest Park is also home to the St. Louis Zoo, where a menagerie of critters, including southern rockhopper penguins, is sure to keep little ones entertained. Just a short walk away, visit the St. Louis Art Museum. Built for the 1904 World's Fair, this stunning Beaux Arts palace houses creative works which span the world's cultures and ages. Before you leave, make your way to the southern edge of Forest Park to explore the St. Louis Science Center. The center is a celebration of natural history and a glimpse into the new frontiers of science and technology. Ever since those two French fur traders set up shop on the banks of the Mississippi, St. Louis has been the gateway to new frontiers. This once rough and ready trading post has evolved into a modern city, brimming with new flavors and a vibrant character that remains true to its rustic heritage. No longer an outpost where pioneers set forth to conquer the Wild West, today visitors find plenty of adventure right here. So when you're ready to discover some of the best history, hospitality, and hops America has to offer, St. Louis is the perfect gateway. Rising from the western edge of America's high plains and shadowed by the Rocky Mountains is Colorado's capital, Denver. The city sprang up in 1858, right where the first flakes of gold in the state were discovered. As it turns out, there wasn't much gold around Denver. The real riches lay up in the mountains. But ever since, the mile-high city has continued to grow, thanks partly to its incredible weather. Denver is blessed with over 300 days of sunshine per year. That's more than Miami. Just an easy walk or bus ride from Denver's modern downtown is the Golden Triangle, an area filled with grand civic architecture, museums, and public art. Climb the stairs to the Capitol building, where at the 13th step, you'll be exactly 1 mile above sea level. Spend some time in the Denver Art Museum, which celebrates the region's landscapes and peoples. The museum houses 18,000 Native American treasures, making it one of the most important First Nations collections in the country. Not far from the Golden Triangle is the Children's Museum of Denver, where little adventurers can discover the world of kinetics, explore nature, and climb aboard a big old fire truck. There are plenty of other natural wonders to explore at the Denver Botanic Gardens and Butterfly Pavilion. Denverites have always enjoyed the great outdoors and believe their animal friends should too. Denver Zoo pioneered the use of natural habitats so its guests can feel right at home, whatever the weather. Uncover the region's prehistoric past in the Denver Museum of Science and Nature. But to really walk in the footsteps of giants, hit the Triceratops Trail at Dinosaur Ridge. Here on Denver's western outskirts, you'll find the Morrison Fossil Area, one of the most extensive dinosaur track and fossil sites in the world. And just up the road is the historic mining town of Golden. Mosey on into the Buffalo Bill Museum on Lookout Mountain, dedicated to the life and times of America's greatest Wild West showman. Just outside his final resting place sits high on a ridge where the winds whistle through the ponderosa pines. Down the hill at the Clear Creek History Park, peer into the lives of the pioneers who carved out a life in shadows and snowdrifts of the Great Divide. Golden is also home to the Colorado Railroad Museum, which lovingly maintains the locomotives, cars, and cabooses that once traversed the region's high plains and mountain passes. For many in these parts, the mountains became an obsession. Golden's Mountaineering Museum is dedicated to the technology and spirit of those who answer the call of those lofty peaks. Denverites can't seem to get enough of the great outdoors. While you're in the Golden area, call into one of the world's most beautiful natural amphitheaters, Red Rocks. Go for a run with locals or time your visit to take in a show. Many of the world's great artists, from the Beatles to U2, have performed here under the blood-red rocks. If all that sightseeing and history builds up a thirst, you're in luck. The area around Denver is known as the Beer Triangle. Take a tour of the Coors Brewery before exploring the region's dozens of brew pubs and microbreweries. Denver is surrounded by places of incredible beauty. Just over an hour's drive south are the ancient sandstone formations that have been attracting travelers and dreamers for thousands of years, the Garden of the Gods. Nearby is the pretty town of Manitou Springs. From here, you can hike, catch the Cog Railway, or drive to Pikes Peak, weather permitting. This is where Colorado's real high country begins. Try your hand at prospecting. Keep an eye out for the legendary Bigfoot, or just soak up the views from 14,000 feet. When the sun starts to drop, it's time to head back to Denver. Warm up by the fire, then make tracks to the Buckhorn Exchange, a Denver institution spanning 3 centuries. Order up a rattlesnake dip, an alligator tail, or an elk steak. But don't miss the house specialty, Rocky Mountain oysters. The Rockies loom large over Denver. Turn any street corner and there they are. Maybe that's why folks here are so relaxed. Living this close to nature's majesty has a knack for keeping things in perspective. So if you've got a hankering for the best of big city comforts and clear mountain air, there's a warm, wild welcome waiting for you in Denver.
Las Vegas is situated in the United States in the western state of Nevada. Rising like an oasis from the Mojave Desert, this city of over 1 million people enjoys 300 days of sunshine a year. Hey buddy, would you pass me the suntan lotion? If ever there was a city that shouldn't be, it's Las Vegas. Starting life as a windswept watering hole on the Pioneer Trail, this is a city that continually beat the odds. Over the decades, Las Vegas grew into a kind of neon Camelot, whose casinos and Rat Pack style has become almost legendary. But if your ideas about Las Vegas look like an old Super 8 movie, prepare to be blown away. And I mean really blown away. This is not just a city. The Las Vegas of the 21st century is like visiting another planet, a pleasure planet. It's a total escapist fantasy. Everyone is here for a good time. From Grandma Joe to movie stars. Hey, isn't that... Whatever you want, you can have it here. Looking for a taste of classic Vegas, Daddy-O? Head downtown to Fremont Street and into a world of old-school cocktail lounges, piano bars, and classic casinos. Okay, now it's time to hit the Strip. If everything's big in Vegas, it's 100 times bigger here. We're not talking casinos anymore, we're talking mythical cities. Whole worlds geared around you having the time of your life. Whatever mood floats your boat, you'll find it here. Fancy 3 days of unbelievable indulgence? Say buongiorno to the Bellagio and her incredible dancing fountains. Step back in time at the Luxor or Caesar's Palace. This is what ancient Egypt and Rome might have been like if they discovered electricity and cocktails or happy hours a little sooner. Feeling more tropically inclined? Kick off those heels and feel the sand between your toes at the Mirage and Mandalay Bay resorts. The resorts on the Strip are so vast and self-contained, it's possible to land in one and not step outside again for the rest of your stay. But you will step out and explore the unique themes of at least a few others, sampling the incredible shows, dining, and shopping experiences each one has to offer. If this neon paradise still ain't enough for you, Mother Nature has a few surprises of her own. That is, if you can find your way out. The Valley of Fire is just 50 miles out of town, and the Grand Canyon is a half-a-day drive away. But as the nighttime descends, Vegas calls, like an incredible cluster of neon jewels under the desert sky. Las Vegas dazzles like no other city. She's here to remind us that we're here on Earth not for a long time, but for a good time. And Las Vegas will be the best time you ever had.
I'm Karen Shaler, editor of TravelTherapyTrips.com. Are you craving a little culture? A destination that has some real history? Check this out. If you're looking to try something different on your next vacation, the Canadian city of Edmonton, the capital of Alberta, offers so many unique and affordable experiences. With close to 1.2 million people, Edmonton, Canada's festival city, is the northernmost major city in Canada and prides itself on its diversified culture and its lively, eclectic vibe. Here are my top 15 things you shouldn't miss. Nature lovers will love Elk Island National Park, where you can see free-roaming bison, moose, deer, and elk. And whether you drive through the park or hike, there's breathtaking scenery all around you. Another huge attraction is the North Saskatchewan River Valley, North America's largest urban park that covers more than 18,000 acres, offering year-round access to terrific trails for outdoor activities like walking, jogging, and biking. One fun new way to get around is to do a Segway tour, the first of its kind in Canada, that's offered even during the winter months. When you're ready to rest, hop on the high-level bridge streetcar that takes you across the river, offering some breathtaking scenery. History lovers will also appreciate the very unique, award-winning Ukrainian Cultural Heritage Village, a historic site highlighting the Ukrainian settlement in east-central Alberta in the early 1900s. Another travel therapy favorite is visiting Fort Edmonton Park, Canada's largest living history museum, where you're transported back in time and walk your way through 4 historic time periods between 1846 and 1929. Another must-do is to visit the pretty legislative grounds in Edmonton, where you can also go inside the legislative building and take free tours to learn more about Alberta's history. Feeling artsy? Check out the new Art Gallery of Alberta, boasting a collection of around 6,000 pieces, and the Alberta Craft Council, where you can buy different artwork from local artists. For art everywhere you look, head over to Old Strathcona, voted one of Canada's coolest neighborhoods, where you'll find hip shops and restaurants and the stylish boutique Matera Hotel. This neighborhood also hosts Edmonton's popular International Fringe Theatre Festival, held every August. And since Edmonton is known for its year-round festivals and live theater performances, don't miss taking in a show. Another must-see property is the iconic Fairmont Hotel McDonald that first opened in 1915 and today is one of the most luxurious hotels in Edmonton, featuring a fantastic Sunday brunch and a weekend royal tea. And when you're in a shopping mood, another great stop is the 124th Street and High Street area, where over several blocks you'll find everything from great clothing boutiques to gourmet food stores. And when it comes to shopping, one of Edmonton's most popular tourist attractions is the West Edmonton Mall, North America's largest shopping and entertainment center, with amazing attractions like this, the world's largest indoor wave pool. From Edmonton, Canada, I'm Karen Shaler, editor of TravelTherapyTrips.com. Until next time, safe travels.
But kept in by the owners. Draisaitl, McDavid, Draisaitl snaps a shot, he scores!
For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated.
Comes Goodenough, now McDavid across the Draisaitl.
10% pain, 100% reason to remember the name. He doesn't need his name.
Larkin, stolen. Here's Draisaitl. McDavid, Draisaitl lets it go, he scores!
In spite of the fact that some people still think that they know, but no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up.
Out in front as the puck comes with Draisaitl and
anyway. He never really talks much, never concerned with status, but still leaving him starstruck. Humble through opportunities given despite the fact that many misjudge him because he makes a living from writing.
Elliott keeps it out, it's still alive, they bang away at it. Here's another opportunity, Draisaitl scores!
His will is beyond reach, and now it all unfolds. The skill of an artist. This is 20% skill, 80% fear.
Draisaitl, let's go!
Clear, cause Ryu was ill. Who would have thought he'd be the one that set the West in flames? And I heard him wreck it with the crystal method.
From Cassian, here comes McDavid, moving in with Draisaitl. McDavid, Draisaitl scores!
Had the stupidest verse, this dude is the truth. Now everybody giving them guest spots and stocks through the roof.
And here, back the other way, Draisaitl, search for McDavid, 3-on-1, Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Draisaitl! Leon Draisaitl,
got him out the dryer, he's hot. Found him in Fort Minor with top, but a nihilist porcupine. He's a type women wanna be with them rappers. Hope he gets 8 years in the making, patiently waiting to blow. Now the record wishing notice taking over the globe. He's got a partner in crime, this is equally dope. You won't believe the kind of that comes out of this kid's throat. He's not your everyday on the block. He knows how to work with what he's got, making his way to the top. He don't think it's
here's McDavid alone in front.
Even that Bertha doesn't stand for an acronym. No, he's living proof. Let him rock in the booth. He'll get you buzzing quicker than a shot of vodka with juice. Him and his crew are known around as one of the best. Dedicated to what they do and give 100%.
The Draisaitl feeds it across, Flurry down, and puck is lifted behind the net. Out in front, scores! Connor McDavid with his second goal of the night.
In his mind, it's like a design is written in his head every time before.
Here comes McDavid again, one-hander stop. Draisaitl shot, he scores!
Runs with the kids that he signed. Ridiculous, get it back out even tried. How did they do it? This is 10%.
To the side, they score! Draisaitl one-time. Middle for Lucian Hopkins. Nice pass from Draisaitl, feeds it to McDavid. McDavid works his way in, takes a shot, and scores!
Hopkins again, sends it back. Shot,